pull it, pull it. Good morning. It is Monday, and I just left something pretty crazy. I'll put some pictures in the video. Here's those pictures. This is the cover panel for the breakers. This is the breaker panel itself. And this is a zoom in on that top lug connection where the power comes in. And here's just an overall of all the equipment he had laid out by the electrician. But I left the house in Scarsdale and lightning struck their house. Their breaker panel like completely blew up and like plasma cut a hole like 2 inches big in the breaker panel casing. And they need a new Burnham Alpine because of it, so we'll be swapping out that Burnham Alpine. But I'm heading back to Long Island to I have 4 service calls on my schedule. We'll see how many make it into the video, if any. I took the pickup, and Peter's gonna meet me in Woodmere with the van, so he got to sleep in, which is nice for him. But hopefully you enjoy watching the video, and hopefully I get some good footage. And this pickup is super nice to drive. When I got in it though, it had low tire pressure, needs oil change, empty on gas, so that was great. But this has this nice CarPlay display, so I have the directions, and it picks up really nicely, which is fun. But maybe I'll get a good video of the view. There's some big buildings, but we're gonna go over the bridge soon. And there's the city. We're going over the bridge. You can see the other bridge. I don't know what the names of them are, but the city looks cool. Okay, so I'm still waiting on Peter, but I just got here, turned it on in cooling, and we had no compressor. But we did have a fan, and when the compressor was trying to start, the fan was slowing down, so we'll see what we have going on. And we have some burnt terminals. Okay, so I'm gonna need Peter with the truck to fix this, but it's interesting. Why did that happen? Okay, so we got a 40 microfarad capacitor. We're at 37.9. Technically, that's outside of the 5% range, so I am gonna recommend replacing that. But I'm gonna have to replace this wiring terminal. This one didn't burn, but it was touching the burnt one. And for that, I just completely removed it. Here was the connector from it, totally melted. And I'm gonna, once Peter gets here, group some new terminals together. I also removed this wire because I didn't like how loosely these were fitting, and I put those on. I checked all the other connections and I tested this start capacitor, which is still good. So once Peter gets here, I'm gonna do that. The spades on the contactor look okay. I'll have to clean them up a little bit, but they should be fine. Yes, so here's that wire close up that burnt up. It was probably just a loose connection. They are gonna replace this capacitor. I just confirmed it with them. So just waiting on Peter to get here so that we could do that. He should be here in about 5 minutes, so we'll see how long he actually takes. And I just did a maintenance on these, which this capacitor tested out good when I did the maintenance. I did a cleaning on the coils. Everything was working fine when I was here, but I guess things happen. They also have a Bosch unit here, which is just charging nice and hot and condensing, so they say this unit's working great. They were worried they would have to replace this condenser, but it doesn't look like it. Okay, so we got our new 40 capacitor mounted, connected on Herman Common with a new black wire run to replace the red. I don't have red, so it is what it is. Now we can plug in the disconnect. Okay, so that didn't work. I put in a hard start. I replaced the hard start to see maybe if it was the potential relay or something. And you could see new hard start, new relay, new capacitor, and it won't run. Compressor's locked up, so amperage skyrockets, and it stops drawing. So they have to, unfortunately, replace the equipment, which is what they did with the Bosch here, because it's an R22 system. So that stinks, but it is what it is. Okay, so on my way now to the next one. I'm going to condenser making loud noise. I've been to this condenser so many times, and he always says it's making a loud noise, and I've never had it make any loud noise. So I don't know what's gonna happen, but we'll see. Back in my van, Peter has the truck. Okay, so I'm outside at the condenser. I'm checking the amperage. Peter is turning the system on and off, because we're gonna see if we can get the issue to replicate. I was never able to replicate it before. Homeowner says it only happens sometimes. I'm thinking maybe it's the compressor, but again, we can't confirm it. And I brought a soft start out to see if he wanted to go that route. But again, we don't know if it's a compressor or not, so we're gonna see what happens if we get any crazy noise and if it starts to pull crazy amperage.
3, 2.
And 14 to 11. Nothing sounds abnormal. Our amp draw looks good on our system. And that leg, let's try this leg, similar, so. And it's very odd. Let's see if I could do the voltage. See what we're reading there. Okay, 240. That sound that you're hearing, it's just metals vibrating because I have the cover off. Yeah, nothing. Turn it off, Peter. And you put it back on and cooling, and we'll wait for the delay again. And again, nothing aside from this panel, and the cover's not on, but no noises. So turn it off and turn it back on again, and we'll wait for the delay. Okay, so we're gonna kick on again in a few seconds. Got the amp draw on there, and see if it wants to make any strange noise. Time.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, no. Sounds okay. It's very, very odd. I really wanted to make the noise, but did this over a dozen times, checked pressures, but no change. Okay, so we're at our next unit, which is condenser fan isn't spinning, and I replaced this condenser fan as well as this condenser fan. So why it's not spinning, I'm not sure yet. We're gonna pull the capacitor and test that. Brand new fan motor, and the compressor was running. Peter pulled the disconnect, so we're gonna test that capacitor and see what happens. You can see that there is a burnt wire on it right there, so we'll see what happens. Okay, so we got my Peter got my meter out, set for, let's see, yeah, microfarad, set for nanofarads or whatever, but it'll auto go to it. Here's that burnt wire, and you were on it.
I know, it's switched off.
Now we're gonna test our Herm side, which is the where the burnt lead is. You can see it really charred up there. OL. Okay.
Is this the right?
Yep. Yep, that's right. Now go to fan. From common to fan.
See if I get it better.
Oh, were we not plugged in? Pull them off. Let's see what happened here. Turn it off, turn it back on. Okay, hold on. Yeah, go now. That is which side?
This is fan.
Okay. 5, go to Herm. 50. What are we rated for?
65.
Do we have a bad fan motor? Let's see if it spins freely. It does spin. And not much resistance at all. That's very odd. And let's see, our common is going to our common. Fan was going to our capacitor. Compressor was going to compressor. That seems very odd. Just as a quick test, I tried with a standard 5 wiring it in, and no, our motor's dead, which is so odd. So we got a new motor that we're going to be putting in. Okay, so we put in our new fan motor, and 1.5 amps. It's rated for 2, so that's good. I put the white wire on the capacitor itself on the common instead of up there. It doesn't matter because that orange wire attaches the 2. But I did that anyway just because, I don't know, why not? But yeah, that's really, really weird that the condenser fan motor went dead. I wonder if it was the storm. No, because that wouldn't have made sense. It would have been gone a while ago. Yeah, I don't know. It's so weird. Brand new fan motor failed. Yeah, but still. That's never happened to me before. Okay, so headed to another customer who is literally around the corner. And what we're doing is going to an AC that's not working. But we were here already. We pumped the system down. Somebody told him he had a leak. We pressure tested. We vacuumed, passed pressure test, passed decay test. We added refrigerant and we added sealant with UV dye.
Turn right onto Clubhouse Road.
And AC system's not working. Whether or not it leaked out, I don't know. I did have a feeling that it was going to leak out. But Mike has a feeling that it's not going to leak out because of the fact that it passed decay and pressure test. But I don't know. We're going to have to see when we get there. It's a carrier system. It's fairly old. The coil is not made anymore for the evaporator. It was tough to get or something. I don't remember 100% all the details, but see what happens. Okay, so I spoke with the customer, and an electrician was here. There was a blown fuse. Holy crap! I could see why the fuse blew. I think that might be a problem. So let's get this cover off, because regardless of that, I still want to test the contactor, and I'm going to get some thermostat wire. 16 ohms on the contactor. Peter's connecting the wiring, and what I did was I folded the wire over and made a loop after stripping it. Fold it over like that, and then put it in the crimp connector. That way it has 2 portions of wire to grab on, and it's nice and secure. And then Peter's going to tape that up, make sure it's nice and sealed. I'm going to go in the attic and change the fuse. Okay, I just replaced the fuse, turned the thermostat on, and the indoor fan came on. And we'll have to see if the outdoor unit comes on. And there's the wiring to try to keep it away from the landscapers. And our unit is running. It's discharging heat. Our suction line is cold. So we should be good to go, but we're going to check charge on this one. Hooked up my S-Mans, and you don't get to see these very often, but crack it. Bleed our hose bare, just so we don't introduce any air into the system. Same with this one. Just crack it. bleed our hose so we don't introduce any air. And we're very much above freezing, 44, and 11 degrees superheat, 10 degrees of subcooling. So our charge is still okay compared to what we had last time when we charged it. So far it is holding. Looks like my temperature sensor is disconnected for a second, but yeah, that's not bad at all. Okay, so that was simple enough. Headed out of Rockville Center. A customer that I was at, recently was at, and there's a video of it not too long ago. This may be like less than a week ago. It's gonna be over a week, but he had a bad thermostat, and I put in a Bosch BCC 100 thermostat just because he has so much going on there. He's electric heat, heat pump, another form. It's really weird, but Bosch was the only thermostat that I could wire in the same that he had his older thermostat, so I did that, and it was running, it was cooling well, but apparently it's not cooling again now. Either that or it's his other system that's not cooling, but I'm not sure. We're gonna have to see when we get there. It's flashing C. When this thing turns on, I want to know exactly what that says. Just pull it. Okay, so that's gonna be it for this video. Nothing crazy entertaining, but I've got five calls done and an estimate. One call did nothing really, just made sure it was working properly. The other turned into basically an estimate, and another turned into an estimate. But the cooling season's ending, so I'm sure we won't hear back from them anytime soon. One of them is a good customer of Mike's. The other is a customer, like a maintenance agreement customer. So I'm sure they'll use us, but it's why would they replace the AC when winter's about to come? But hopefully you enjoyed watching the video. Like the video if you liked it. Comment any advice or criticisms or feedback, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.